Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blood and Donuts. I am Tony.
And I'm Chris.
And we are going to be talking about the Terrifier today.
Yes.
Good to have you.
Spoilers, obviously. We'll be talking about the beginning, middle, and end.
Absolutely. But we just thank you for tuning in. And we both like this film.
Yeah, it was good. It was a goofy, gory kind of movie.
We laughed a lot during this movie.
Yes, very easy to make fun of, and I think it makes fun of itself also.
Absolutely. But so it was a 2016 American slasher film written and directed by Damien Leone. Let's see. It stars Art the Clown and the actor who played him. Let's see what we got that. His
name is David Thornton.
Yeah, David Thornton. He did a great job.
I think he did too. Yeah, it was good. He was fit for the role.
Makeup.
Was really good.
The makeup was amazing.
The special effects were also
special effects were amazing. Did you know how much they spent making this movie?
No, I don't.
$35,000.
That's really good.
Isn't that nuts?
Yes. How much did they gross?
$400,000 in theaters.
That's not bad.
And it was picked up by Netflix. And we watched it on
Peacock.
So, I mean, obviously they're doing well. And they Terrifier had 2 sequels so far, number 2 and number 3.
Yeah, but I don't think the third one's out yet.
I mean, just anyway. So when you do watch it, it is low budget. You can tell.
Yes.
The actors, they did okay with what they had for $35,000. I've never made a movie. Have you made a movie?
No, I have not.
So I was just very impressed with that. The whole time we were just looking at the special effects, the blood. It kind of I hate to compare it to the first Evil Dead.
Don't do it.
But just just a bootstrapped horror film, where they let the special effects. This is not the Evil Dead, but the Terrifier. It is a good movie. If you like horror films, if you don't like horror films, don't show this to your sister.
If you like slasher, gory kind of films,
yes, yeah. This is an uncomfortable film at times. So it starts with there's a man watching a small television, where Monica Brown, this talk show host, is interviewing this severely disfigured woman who is the sole survivor of a massacre that took place the previous Halloween. She mentions that the body of the killer, known as Art the Clown, disappeared from the morgue, suggesting that he's still alive. However, this disfigured woman insists that she saw him die. The man, revealed to be Art the Clown, furiously kicks the TV and fills a garbage bag with bladed objects. After the interview, Monica talks to her partner on the phone. Remember, she's in the dressing room, and she's like, "Did you see that woman?
Yeah, I can't believe I just interviewed her.
Yeah, like she looked as ugly as she did. You should have been there." And then all of a sudden, she jumps out and gouges out her eyeballs.
Probably the best jump scare
yes.
Out of the movie. Everything else you can see coming a mile away.
Yes, but she deserved it. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean...
And I think I called it at the time that it might circle around to where that might have been the survivor of this thing.
Yes, you did call that. I do remember that.
Yep.
But you're seeing Art the Clown in the beginning. They do not do a slow reveal. They show him right off the bat.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
I think that's fine. I mean... Where else are you going to show him? I mean, you got to get him out there somehow.
Yeah, I mean, let's say Halloween. They kind of they showed him as a kid, but they kind of slow rolled him, Mike Myers, throughout.
Yeah, they're looking through the screen at him, and you can kind of see his body, but you don't see his whole face until later.
Yes.
So they did drag that one out.
Absolutely. Art the Clown, great character.
Yeah, I did like the character. It's not as creepy. I don't think as both It clowns, both Bill Skarsgård and
so this came out in 2016. I believe that the second It came out in 2017.
Right.
So this actually beat them to the punch. Creepy clowns were very in at that time.
They were
apparently. So later on, Halloween night, 2 friends. You got Tara and Dawn. They leave a Halloween party, and they're pretty wasted.
Yes. Because they can't drive out of there right away,
right?
For some reason there.
And
I guess Uber wasn't around in 2016.
No, it was not. They get to Tara is the annoying friend who is very drunk.
Yes, you have kind of the good girl, bad girl thing going on.
Yeah, and Tara is and they see Art the Clown there. I believe he's in like a little alleyway type thing.
Yeah, they see him down the street.
and he's just staring at him.
Right.
And Dawn is obviously very scared. And no, I'm sorry. Tara is very scared. Dawn is the annoying one.
Okay.
And but Dawn is like flirting with him, like, "Hey, what do you look at
Right.
you?
Let's take a selfie.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Well, that's actually one of my cons. Was in the beginning was a staring contest between one of the girls and the clown.
yes.
And then finally, after 20 agonizing minutes, the pizza guy's like, "Hey, you gonna get a slice or what?"
Yeah. So they head to a pizza place,
Yes.
and they're sitting there. They head to the pizza place to sober up a little bit.
Yeah, they're trying to get some food in them.
Yeah, because so Tara was like, "Hey, I'll drive." And then she's like, "Well, I'm too wasted too." So they go to the pizza place, and you have Tara. No, is it Dawn? I'm getting the two girls mixed up.
I don't even know their names, so yeah, I didn't.
He saws Dawn in half, if that tells you anything.
Okay, so Dawn is the annoying one.
Yeah, so Dawn is the annoying one. You got Tara. So
Tara is essentially the protagonist for 3/4 of the film.
right, and so Dawn is flirting with Art the Clown.
Yep.
She goes and sits in his lap, takes his hat off.
Yep.
Takes selfie pictures with him, and
And the whole time he's staring at Tara, and that's too much staring.
you didn't like the stare.
I didn't like the staring contest.
Like any normal human being would see that and they would
Leave.
because he was a creepy clown. This wasn't just. I understand it's Halloween night, but this guy was.
You would kind of leave right off the bat before the staring contest.
This guy was. I mean, this guy's next level.
Yeah, sure. Just as
Makeup.
far as the creepy goes.
Yeah.
No talking. I don't think he talked through the whole.
He didn't talk
thing.
at all. No, he was
not
like not like a red. No red makeup. This is like pantomime, like a mime, right?
Right. Yeah. It was not as colorful as Stephen Curry's It or Bill Skarsgård's It.
Yes. So then, Art the Clown goes to the restroom
Yeah.
at the pizzeria.
Oh yes.
And
Okay.
he just wipes feces all
Excrement,
over
yeah.
the wall and writes his name on the wall.
Much to the chagrin of the pizza owners, they didn't take too kindly to that.
Yeah, it was like, hey, you got to get in there and clean this up. And first they throw out Art the Clown, obviously.
Yeah. Instead of making him, clean
and the girls
it
are
up.
like, what did he do in there? Like, I don't know. It was just a weird scene.
And then the guy who's been making pizzas all night
Yeah.
goes in there and I get paid extra for this.
Yeah. What was the joke that you said? He's like on the phone or something. It was like some kind of Terrifier. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, that's later on when the building guy is trying to describe
When he calls the
clown.
police.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. never
He
mind.
finally gets
I thought for some reason I thought it was the pizza guys.
the phones finally work, and the
Oh.
building guy gets in there and trying to describe the clown and some sort of Terrifier.
Okay, so they end up leaving. They go. The girls do. The girls are going back to the car.
Did they get their pizza though? I forget.
They did get their pizza.
They like to go. At
They
that
got
point.
their pizza, but then Art the Clown goes back and kills the two dudes pretty gruesomely.
Yeah.
The first guy, he like lights his like the guy's cleaning the bathroom. He's like yelling for him. He's like, hey. Are you listening? And then he goes and there's Art the Clown, and the dude's head is on fire like a candle or something.
Yeah, he lit candles like in the guy's eyes and nose and mouth or something.
Which I thought was cute.
Yeah, it was neat. It was neat.
Yeah, I mean, like there ain't nothing wrong.
That's
with
what you do.
that. Yeah. And the girls, they get back to their car. Turns out they have a flat tire at this point.
Yeah, and I had to been a nail from earlier. I don't think it had anything to do with the clown.
Art the Clown definitely slashed the tires, and so they have to call Tara's sister, who's studying for a midterm.
And what's her name?
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either.
Tara's Vicky.
Vicky. I remember that now. Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky. Vicky's studying for the midterm, and she's like, "No, I can't go." And then her roommate in college comes in with her boyfriend. She's like, "Maybe I should get some fresh air."
Yeah.
Like that, and then while they're waiting, they hear no. Tara has to use the restroom.
Yep, she does. And she goes and meets our building manager, actor by Matt McAllister. He's called Mike the Building Guy on IMDb. And he reminds me of the Jake from State Farm guy, the commercials.
Good thing I was about to bomb this place.
Yeah.
And she, roaches? No, rats.
Right.
about to bomb it, you know.
Right. And so she finally talks him into letting her pee in the building.
Right.
Because it's like at that point, you need to get in there. You can't just go in a dark alley or anything and do that. So
No. Inside, she runs. This is, I didn't like this. The cat lady.
No, I thought that was a weird character.
It calls her the cat lady on.
That's about all she
on
was.
IMDb, but she was holding like this porcelain doll.
It was like a Cabbage Patch baby or something.
Yeah. They call her a deluded squatter who believes the doll that she carries is her infant child.
Yep.
But anyway, just a weird character.
Yeah, she added really not much to it. I think towards the end of her character, she actually sat down with Art, the clown, and
Touched his face.
And
do you want a woman's touch?
Mother's
A mother's touch.
A mother's touch.
I think he ends up killing her and then wearing her skin.
That sounds right.
Did I just make that up?
No,
That's real, right?
That's where he was wearing her chestal region.
Yes.
Around riding on a tricycle later.
Yes. So Tara, she encounters Art inside the apartment building. Oh, but this is Dawn. Art gets to Dawn in the car. Dawn is listening to the radio station, and she's listening, and she hears about the pizzeria, and they're like, "Oh, welcome out there, sports fans on Halloween radio."
She finally figures out, 2 + 2 is 4,
Yes.
and then this guy's a killer.
She looks to your side, and you think Tara just got back from using the restroom, but it's Art the clown sitting right next to her in the car, and then you're just sat there wondering what happened. What happened to Dawn?
Yeah.
And then Tara meets Art the clown inside.
Yes. Now, does he drag her in, or does she just kind of meet him in there somewhere?
I think they just meet.
She kind of stumbled in a room.
Yeah.
And he's there with her hanging upside down.
He was smoking a cigarette. She was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they was like hanging. No, I don't remember exactly, but it was. I think he drags her from somewhere. They run into the hallway, and he drags her in and starts killing her.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds right.
And then he straps her to a chair.
Because he knocks her out with something.
Oh,
Alcohol or something. And then she wakes up.
He gave her the syringe.
Yeah, the syringe.
In the
that's
neck.
it. Because this guy does not use the same weapon twice.
No,
Not at all.
this guy is
Syringe, a knife,
Yes,
a fork, I think.
He'll
Definitely a hacksaw. That was the big one.
yes. And so she when she wakes up from this drug-induced coma type of deal that only lasts about 5 minutes.
Yep.
There's a sheet in front of her, and then he takes a hacksaw out.
Yes.
And he acts like he's going to cut her throat.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
He does not. And then he goes, "No, I'm just playing around." But he doesn't talk. He's not talking.
Sure,
He's
yeah.
very creepy. He is the best part about this film, Art the clown and the guy who played him. This and the special effects.
Yep.
But so he undoes the sheet, and there is Dawn.
And she's scantily clad at this point.
She's naked and strapped upside down,
Feet in the air.
feet in the air, and he takes the hacksaw and he saws her in half, starting with
We'll just say vertically, not horizontally.
yes, which this they did a really good job with that scene.
Well, yeah,
as far as
because
like
they-
just the looks of it,
Yeah.
the way it looked, the special effects,
And that's why they showed it like 5 times after that.
they did.
Every time a new character entered, they had to walk in on that scene.
very
and
proud of the
be
special
scared.
effect that they had. Yes,
And I think that's one of the scenes that probably put this film on the map, on the radar, if you will.
yeah,
That shocker that probably hasn't been done before.
yes, absolutely.
They took it there and they kind of got on the map for it. I think.
Yeah, and with a horror film, again, and the fact that he did it with such a low budget, and they made money, and he got to show off his skills and stuff. I'm just a really good job on his part for making this happen.
Yeah, for
again, I think before I knew anything or did any research on this movie, I said, man, they must have spent their $4 million budget on the special effects.
I remember you saying that.
And then you find out they spent $35,000
For everything.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's a pretty good feat.
Yeah, just very impressed with that. Tara escapes. She batters Art with a 2x4. He produces a gun at that point and just shoots her to death. That was weird.
Yeah, a lot of times you get, most movies you have your protagonist that you kind of latch onto,
Yeah.
and you can kind of tell from the very beginning that Tara's your girl. Tara's our heroine.
But then she's not.
Heroine, however
But then she's not.
And then she's not.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the movie, it's over.
Yeah. The pacing of the film is a little off too. So everything that we described up to this point is about 30 minutes into the film.
Yeah, it's about halfway.
Yeah. The movie's about an hour and a half. So like it takes 20 minutes to get inside the rat infested building.
Yep.
To build up to this. You've already seen Art. I just think they could have, I don't make movies. I'm just saying, I think they could have slowly revealed Art, the clown, a little bit better.
It was very in your face from the very beginning.
Yes. But this guy made a horror movie for horror fans. This is not for anybody else.
Correct.
So he shoots Tara. Then you have the cat lady, witnesses and seeks out Mike, begging him to call the police. And Mike just kind of throws the cat lady down to the ground. Hey, what are you talking about? He just kind of throws her down.
Sure, because you got to ignore the person who's speaking logic in the horror film.
Oh, you have to. That's rule number 1.
Yep.
And then she walks downstairs. Art gets knocked out unconscious with a hammer.
Yeah.
Mike, by Art.
Sure.
Yes.
Yep.
And then so the cat lady then discovers Art the clown downstairs cradling her doll.
Her baby, yep.
Yeah, and she's like, please don't hurt her.
Yep.
Have you ever? And that's where she sits down, touches his face, trying to get him to let go of the doll.
And from there, doesn't it cut away and you kind of feel like it's a feel good? Oh, man, finally. Terrifier's coming around.
He hugs her.
Yeah.
She hugs him.
It turns out that's all he needed.
He just needed a mother's touch.
Yep.
But that didn't happen. Vicky, the sister, finally arrives. She discovers Tara and Dawn dead, and she discovers Art severely mutilated the cat lady, and he's wearing her scalp and her skin.
Yeah, skin, okay.
And he then chases her and corners her into a locker. But then he turns his attention to Mike's coworker who arrives at the building.
He's the roach guy.
Yeah.
Or the plumber.
He's like, this better be good. Hey, and he doesn't answer and all this stuff.
Is Mike alive at this point? Because other than Art, Mike is my favorite character.
The bald guy? The original?
The building guy, yeah.
Yeah. So we find out he is in a minute. But after ambushing and decapitating the friend, Art continues to chase Vicky. She manages to escape, but stops to grieve upon finding her sister's corpse at this point.
Right.
Art catches up to her and attacks her with a makeshift cat of nine tails. But Mike, having recovered from the hammer from earlier, arrives, knocks Art unconscious with one hit. And that's all Art gets, because this is a horror film, and that's what happens, right?
Because you can't kill him or cut his head off at that point. No. You have to let him live. You have to run away while he's briefly incapacitated.
At this point, you're just kind of, this is where you scream at the television, like, what are you doing?
Why didn't you hit him 15 more times?
Hit him 15 more times. What they do is they hit him once, he grabs Vicky, and then they go into a room and shut the door. We're going to call the police. Everything's going to be okay.
And that's where he says,
there's
some sort of Terrifier out here.
What he calls the police. Oh no, it's like a Terrifier or something. Let's see. And then have recovered, arrives at knocks Art unconscious. The two flee and they call 911. But Art appears and overpowers Mike, stomping on his head repeatedly to kill him.
That was a good death too.
That was
because he does not use again. I don't think throughout the whole movie he used the same method of killing more than once.
Yeah,
a lot of variety of death here.
A lot of it, and you kind of get that at the beginning. You get that feeling because it shows there's that TV on the ground, and it's showing that interview, and it shows Art is getting his tools together. He's getting a razor. He's getting a drill.
Is that what's in the garbage bag he's had the whole time?
Yeah. He's getting all that stuff together. Like, hey, I'm a clown, and I have some tools.
Yeah.
These are my, and that's where you get the hacksaw and all that good stuff.
Right.
Vicky retreats to the garage, but Art rams through the door, runs her over with the pickup truck, incapacitating her. As she lies unconscious, Art the clown then begins to eat her face.
I do remember that now, yes.
Yes, and that's when the police bust into the door, and they're like, stop right now, turn around.
Right.
And then Art, if you remember correctly, pulls a gun out, sticks it in his mouth, laughs, and then shoots himself.
Right, and that is another one of my cons is the suicide, because once you go that route, when the main villain offs themselves, And then, spoiler again, in the very end, comes up and says, I'm still here. You weren't. You were dead. That was the end of the movie.
Well, so this is the way I look at it.
Okay.
So first off, at the very beginning, he did the same thing because the interviewee says that. She says, she tells a story of like, no, I saw him. He was shot. He was dead, but he's back alive. They did that with Michael Myers. Because at one point he was just
more than once.
in the first one, you're like, oh, he's just a dude.
Yeah.
But then he gets shot in the face, and he's back. He's back up for number two.
But there wasn't such a defined thing. So let's forget Halloween Resurrection for a second. But at the end of the first movie, he was shot I shot him 6 times, and he falls off the balcony.
Yeah.
For that scene, it's like, okay, well, there was no clear, definitive death. You shot him, you put holes in him, and he fell.
Yeah.
In this one, he blows his brains out, and there's blood going out of his mouth and through his nose. And you're thinking, okay, well, man, there could have been a Terrifier too if they played this differently.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. It was just at the end. It was, rawr, I'm still here, but you weren't there.
Well, again, he's a clown. Maybe it was a trick. It was like, come
on, like the gun just said bang, and that was it.
Yeah. I have no idea.
No.
So like you said, he goes to the morgue, and the morgue was hilarious looking. I don't know. It was just a garage.
It looked like in a garage.
Yeah.
There was like different types of medical posters plastered on the wall.
Yes.
That was probably the funniest.
Yes,
scene.
but the budget was $35,000.
Sure.
And the coroner was like, I was almost out of here, and I'm going to be here till 12 o'clock. Can you bring me a ham sandwich? And then they're like, or something like that. They're like, how can you eat while? And he goes, once you've seen a baby like microwaved, this ain't nothing. Do you remember that?
I remember the scenery down there, but we
just laughed our butts off. But in the corner itself, the electricity starts going on and off. So obviously Art is supernatural. You're seeing that he's getting some kind of energy. They reveal his face. He's sitting there smiling. Then he pops up, like you said, and strangles the coroner.
Right.
And And then you find out that the severely disfigured woman from the film's opening scene was Vicky, who it was.
Yep.
And maybe
sister.
You thought it was going to be Tara.
You really did.
But it wasn't.
The whole time.
Yes.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. But so would you watch this movie again?
I mean, once you've seen this movie once, I think you've done enough. Now, I would like to see 2 and 3. Like I said, I don't think 3's out yet, but 2, I would probably watch it.
Yeah, I would watch that too.
Just because I need closure. I need to know how he came back to life after blowing his brains out, or is 2 a prequel? I don't know yet.
Does horror? Does it even give you closure? Was there ever closure with Halloween?
After Busta Rhymes, I think. Once Busta Rhymes was done with his take, it was like end of scene, end of series. This is a wrap.
I'm never watching this again. No. But there's just not a lot of closure with horror films,
right? Not with the slasher kind of thing. Usually at the end of the day, the villain is dead. Well,
yes.
This one, he's still alive, so leaves us open for 2.
Yes.
We'll see eventually. I mean, they've already killed a protagonist once, so are they going to do it in the second one? Surely not. I mean, you can't. You don't want to repeat the same formula there, but we'll have to see when we see it.
Absolutely. So like we could see what he's going to do with a bigger budget. Obviously, because
he's got like $400,000 now. He's good to go.
Well, so like I used the example of the Evil Dead. Sam Raimi's first film, and then he got a bigger budget. He went and shot the Evil Dead 2, and he basically did the same film but with a bigger budget.
Yeah,
you didn't get no closure there. It didn't take off from the beginning or anything like that. He just kind of filmed pretty much the same thing, just a little bit funnier.
Yeah,
a little bit lighter, bigger budget, obviously.
Right.
And you like it. You like the Evil Dead 2 better, don't you?
I think I did. Yeah, after the first one.
I like the first one.
Yeah, the first one has much more of a creepy factor, and again, like the second one is more fun and just kind of goofy.
Yeah, almost. That's where they kind of they bring in the groovy and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. This film, The Terrifier, was not that. It was not. There was no slapstick fun in there. The fun
a little bit with the ride in the tricycle.
He did, but I think that was trying to be creepy.
But we read it as goofy. At least I did.
We laughed. we laughed at scenes, but it was just because of how ridiculous it was.
All right, that's true.
But that might have been due to the budget, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway,
what slasher would you compare this to? I mean, you've said Evil Dead a few times, but what about it's almost like Slumber Party 5 or something. I mean,
I don't think that's fair. I think this guy, again, this is 2017. He's got $35,000. He obviously loves special effects. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He loves special effects. He does a really good job with that. He has a great idea with Art the Clown, this character, and which is a great character. So I think he just did the best that he could with what he had. The special effects, Art the Clown, and this is what we got. So I mean I would compare it to, like I said, the Evil Dead. I think
based on the budget and
the reason I like the Evil Dead better is because I like the woods.
Of course,
I like
that's
that.
A classic.
And Bruce Campbell, is amazing.
Absolutely,
yeah. Yep. Bruce Campbell. Those other actors weren't that good.
Right? No, I agree.
They were okay. And you remember when Ash's sister goes into the woods, the trees wrap her up, and we're sitting there like, we're like, dude, what is going on? And then
surely the tree's not going to do that.
Yeah, and then it did that.
And it does.
So I think, like, again, you're like, she's wrapped up, she's upside down in the Terrifier. He has that hacksaw. We're like, dude, you know what I mean? So that's why I compare
a lot of shock factor. Okay,
yeah. I think that's what he was trying to do.
That's a good comparison.
I think he loves horror, and that's what he was trying to accomplish with this. Mm-hmm. And I think he did a great job. $35,000. What would you rate it?
So out of our ranking system,
tell them how it works.
It's going to work as a 13 is our best film we've ever seen.
13 donuts.
That's a baker's dozen. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 13. And that's just because budget. I liked the gore. I thought the clown was great. But everything else was just kind of for me. I had more cons than pros, I think, for me.
Okay, I think 8's a really good score for that. Again, the budget was $35,000. The special effects were great. The makeup was amazing. He did the best with what he could. He put it on Peacock. It's on Netflix. It's a good horror film. We've seen a lot worse.
We definitely have. We
have seen like 1980s, 1990s. There has been some films that had much bigger budget that were not as watchable, laughable, and as enjoyable as this one.
Sure.
But this is a gross film. I would not recommend for the faint of heart.
Absolutely not.
No. Again, would your wife like this?
No.
My wife would hate this.
Not at all.
They would hate this.
No.
Okay.
What is your ranking there?
I'm gonna give with you. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's a good movie. Again, I look forward to the second one to see what he's gonna do with this character. I love Art the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that he's silent. I love that he's unpredictable.
He's going to run out of weapons at some point, though.
No, they're gonna have to get more creative. So when you watch a film by this guy in the future, and I'm assuming he's gonna make more, you're gonna watch his films and you're gonna go like, what is he gonna come up with, and what is he gonna do? Like, how is he gonna kill people in this film? And Jason kind of got that, didn't he?
He did.
Jason was like, man, like he made a guy die this way. And what were the other ones where things would like fall off the truck and. What was that? Like, it was like things would fall, like you would die in a weird way, like the shower would come down, the electricity. What was that called?
Like Nightmare on Elm Street kind of stuff? Where
No. I'm talking about like, it wasn't a slasher in that way, but you watch the films to see the weird way that people.
Oh, your Final Destination.
Final Destinations. Yeah. I'm just saying you would watch those because you just want to see like, how are they going to kill people?
The foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of like that. I think there's an audience for stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's it. Again, tune in to Blood and Donuts. This was episode 1. We thank you for tuning in today. And look out for episode 2 as we're going to try to download and upload a podcast bi-weekly.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks,
we'll see
man.
you then.
See ya.